Hey, my name is Kelly. I write jokes for late night shows, and sometimes those jokes get cut. Here are my favorite cut jokes from 2021. Breaking news this week, buildings on Capitol Hill have been overrun by radicals, fascists, and insurrectionists. Unrelated, there's also some rioters there. According to the Secretary General of the United Nations, our world is currently facing a, quote, climate emergency, with climate-related deaths reaching over 400,000 in the last decade. At this point, the UN just feels like a creepy uncle at a family event. They're going to keep saying unsettling shit, and we're going to keep not knowing what to do about it. Twitter and Facebook have decided to ban Donald Trump from their platforms, citing a further risk of incitement of violence. They've already decided on their top 3 most threatening people to ban next: neo-Nazi Richard Spencer, conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, and my newly divorced Uncle Mark, who has not been handling it well. This past week, Donald Trump has become the first president to be impeached twice while continuing to hold office, which is a super cool thing that can happen, and he definitely learned his lesson this time. The total number of global COVID cases has reached 99 million this week. When asked for comment, new President-elect Joe Biden replied, "Ooh, so close." Super Bowl 55 was last night, with Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the Kansas City Chiefs 31-9. In keeping with the tradition of white men beating Chiefs, Kansas has had to give up 2.7 million square miles of land and embark on a forced march west that is predicted to kill thousands. Conservative radio show host Rush Limbaugh has died at age 70. But for those of you who are fans of his, don't worry. I'm sure he's smiling up at you. A winter storm has caused a state of emergency to be called in Texas, with record low temperatures and unpredictable, uncontrollable power outages. Critics are calling it the worst thing to happen in Texas since the last thing to happen in Texas. The estate of children's author Dr. Seuss has announced that some of his books will no longer be published due to racist and offensive imagery. These will be added to the list of already canceled children's books, such as Don't Let the Pigeon Cross the Border, The Berenstain Bears and Their Fruity Behaviors, and Horton Hears a Heartbeat at 6 weeks. The coronavirus vaccine is beginning to roll out across the country, causing many people to call out of work the day after they get it, citing symptoms such as fatigue, body aches, and sore throat, which coincidentally are the same reasons that I call out on Mondays too. It was announced Wednesday that Ariana Grande will be joining the panel of judges for the new season of The Voice. She'll go down as the first Black, Hispanic, and Asian woman to judge. Queen Elizabeth's husband, Prince Philip, has died of natural causes. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Queen. After all, it's not every day you lose a husband and a cousin. It was announced that controversial Tesla CEO Elon Musk will be hosting SNL the week of May 8th. This is seen as a big win for every man who has ever said, "I bet I could do stand-up." Gwyneth Paltrow's wellness company Goop has announced its first sponsored cruise, which they're calling Goop at Sea, which coincidentally is what I've decided to call my Cancun bachelorette party. A house in Texas known as the Darth Vader house, due to its resemblance of the Star Wars villain's helmet, has officially sold for $4 million. The house comes with 5 beds, 4 baths, and the weirdest sex dungeon you've ever seen. Experts in AAPI history have released a statement saying that U.S. public schools teach little to nothing about Asian American history. But I don't know, I went to a U.S. public school and I learned a lot of slurs. Longtime White House butler William Buddy Carter is retiring after 47 years of service, a career spanning 10 administrations. His jobs included managing social events, welcoming guests, and keeping his goddamn mouth shut. Using a combination of therapy and technology, a blind man has had his vision partially restored after 40 years. Which is good because his wife is only partially hot. More than 80 teens and staffers at an Illinois summer camp have caught COVID. When asked for comment, their parents said, "We're extremely disappointed, but we can't say we're surprised. After all, our kids are a bunch of little..." Oh, you said COVID? John Langley, the creator and executive producer of the reality show Cops, has passed away this week. The cause? A knee to the neck that lasted 8 minutes and 46 seconds. The census is pushing to get LGBT plus Americans counted in a key pandemic survey. Critics are calling this a good move because no one has ever lied about being gay. California has banned state-funded travel to 5 states over their anti-LGBT plus laws. This becomes a moot point when you realize that those 5 states have been begging Californians to stop moving there for years. A report from the World Meteorological Organization has come out that said the amount of ice that melted in Greenland only on Tuesday could cover the state of Florida. Experts are working right now on how to make this dream a reality. The drought that has been affecting the American West has gotten even worse this week, with areas in California and the Pacific Northwest seeing an expansion of hotter but drier conditions. Aren't we all? Twitter is calling to cancel rapper DaBaby after he went on a homophobic rant at one of his concerts the other day. However, conservatives have been jumping in to defend his intentions, which makes sense when you remember canceling DaBaby is something that they've notoriously tried to regulate. In a recent interview with the BBC, Shakira has said she was attacked by, quote, purse-snatching boars in Spain the other week. Which is weird because I didn't know Lindsay Lohan was in Spain. I'm going to read this one. Researchers on the Isle of Wight have uncovered 2 previously unknown species of predatory dinosaurs called spinosaurids. The first new dinosaur is called Rhiparovinator milneri, which means Milner's riverbank hunter, which is a nice nod to British paleontologist Angela Milner. The second dinosaur is named Ceratoseuchops inferidios, which means horned crocodile-faced hell heron, which is a nice nod to me. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers in Pharr, Texas have seized almost $1 million worth of cocaine on Thursday. Unrelated note, my plans on Friday got canceled, so does anybody want to hang? After a lengthy meeting with Pope Francis, President Biden said the Pope told him he's, quote, a good Catholic and should continue to receive communion. Which is funny because when I met the Pope, he told me that I was extremely gorgeous and very sexy and should continue to sin in fun and unique ways. So, I'm glad we both heard what we wanted to. After pop star Olivia Rodrigo's visit to the White House, she revealed that she was given a gift bag that included some M&Ms and a shoehorn. Which is funny because that's exactly what my grandpa with dementia gave me last year. Former presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke has announced his run for governor of Texas. Well, it's not really a run. It's like a series of aerobic activities combined with it's called CrossFit. Target has announced they will no longer open their doors on Thanksgiving Day. Neither will I. Actor Nicolas Cage said during a conversation on the awards circuit that he doesn't like being called an actor and would prefer to be called a thespian. It's a win-win because I also am not a fan of him being called an actor. CNN has reported that a high-end champagne shortage could ruin your New Year's Eve. No, it couldn't. The James Webb Telescope, NASA's new premier space telescope, will launch on Saturday. In addition to looking at planets outside of our solar system, the observatory will look back to some of the earliest galaxies that formed after the Big Bang, which is the climate crisis equivalent of expanding your dating app distance limit. Disgraced comedian and sexual predator Louis C.K.'s new self-released comedy special has been nominated for a Grammy. Apparently we're rewarding him for self-releasing now.